Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another exciting edition of high school football here on Eagle Pass Sports Central. My name is Ruben Valadez. I'm coming to you live tonight from Cozo Foster Veterans Memorial Stadium at the Student Activity Center here in Eagle Pass, where the Laredo Martin Tigers have come in for a district clash against the homestanding CC Winn Mavericks. It is homecoming tonight here for CC Winn. We're going to have homecoming festivities at halftime. More importantly, two teams looking to climb up in the standings in District 14 5A Division 1. Pre-game, the Tigers elected to receive the kickoff. That is the Martin Tigers with their white road uniforms with red helmets, red numbers, and red piping along the pants. Kevin Sugaki will kick this ball off short. Two Tigers, I've never seen that before. Two Tigers made the fair catch at the same time over at about the 25-yard line on the far side of the field. And Martin's going to start right at the 25, and the Maverick defense will be called on first to make a stand. Both of these teams come in with a 1-3 district record. The Maverick victory a couple of weeks ago down in Laredo against the Cigarroa Toros. For the Tigers, they've beaten South San 21-14 previously in the season. Of course, a 2-3 record for the victory here gives you some hope moving forward that you can climb up in the standings and maybe make a late playoff push. A familiar name at quarterback for the Martin Tigers, number 17, Rolando Charles III. A familiar name here in Eagle Pass. Here's the handoff to start the ball game. And the carry to the 26 is by number 7, Vince Hernandez. And Hernandez gets a yard to the 26. Going to be 2nd and 9 now for the Martin Tigers. Charles in the shotgun with a blocker in front of him. Looks right. Quick pass. Caught at about the 29 and still on his feet as the receiver as he gets across the 35 to the 37. That's Elian Ojeda with a Tiger first down on the quick pass. They'll move the chains, and the new line of scrimmage is the 38. My partner, Morris Lipson Jr., is up in San Antonio tonight. Parents' night for his granddaughter, Madison Lipson, senior volleyball player at O'Connor High School up in San Antonio. And we wish Morris and Dora and the whole Lipson family all the best tonight. Here is another handoff. This one goes to Angel Valdez out of the backfield. Sophomore running back is able to get back to the line of scrimmage. And not much more. 2nd and 10 coming up now for the Tigers. We talked to defensive coordinator and the head coach, Coach Hoffman, and also head coach Renan Ramirez, who told us that the Tigers run about a 60% running offense. And so they're going to try to establish this ground game here against this Maverick defense, who did a great job keeping Nixon out of the end zone for a majority of the game last time. Fumble snap. It's dropped by Charles. It's got to be picked up by Valdez. And by the time that happens, the Maverick defense is on him for a big loss all the way back here to the 32. And it's going to be a 3rd and very long now. 3rd and 16 from the 32-yard line on the Martin Tigers opening drive of the game. Of course, Roland Charles, grandson of Coach Roland Charles, here for a long time, and the Charles family. Long Eagle Pass mainstays. Here's a pass incomplete by Charles down the field. There was a receiver in the area. That was Gabriel Hutton, but the pass goes out of bounds, and the Maverick defense does a good job in the first Martin drive of the game. On the incompletion, the clock stops, and Martin will punt off from the 32-yard line. 2 men back deep to receive for the Mavericks. It's Bobby Cabrera and Jaime Rojas back here at about the 35. Punt is on its way, and it will kick at the 40 and then go out of bounds near the 30 at the 32-yard line. Jesus Gutierrez, the punter there. Mavericks are going to have good starting field position, especially compared to last week when we saw them over and over and over again be deep in their own territory to start drives. This one here at the 32 rather, a good spot for the Mavericks to start with 9:12 showing on the clock here, just underway. 7:30 kickoff time in District 14. Juan Cruz Jr. is going to bring his offense to the 32 on the near hash mark. There's a little bit of a confusion on the play call, and Cruz is going to have to hurry up and get to the huddle. 6 seconds left on the play clock. You'd hate to use a timeout here before the first play of the game. It's a handoff to Brian Leos, and Leos gets swallowed up for a loss of a yard back at the 31. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 11. A little bit of confusion there on the play call to start the ball game. Cruz now will go back to the huddle, and the Mavericks face a 2nd and long. Just under 9 minutes left in the first quarter. Still scoreless between the Mavericks and the Tigers if you're just joining us. And to those of you joining us on EPISD iVision YouTube channel, welcome. This is the Mavericks' first drive of the game. Cruz Jr. is going to pull it down. Now's the pass, and it is incomplete as he was harassed in the pocket by that Martin defense. It's going to be a 3rd and long now for the Mavericks from the 31-yard line. Clock stops on the incompletion. A warm, muggy night here at Cozumel Foster Veterans Memorial Stadium. Last night, the Eagles here came away with a victory 34-3 over the Alexander Bulldogs. The Mavericks trying to improve their district record here to 2-3 on homecoming night down here at the SAC. Cruz into shotgun, will take the snap, rolls right, looking downfield for somebody to come open. Gets to the sideline, lets the pass go, and it's intercepted at the 45, close to the far sideline. Still on his feet is the returner. That's number 5, Elian Ojeda. And Ojeda, good hands because he's also a wide receiver. It's a small squad for the Martin Tigers. A lot of these players play both ways, and you saw Ojeda there, one of their wide receivers playing in the defensive secondary, came up with that interception. First turnover of the game. And the ball's going to be set up for the Martin Tigers inside the 25 at the 24-yard line with 8:12 showing on the clock. That was actually an incomplete pass is what they're going to call it, so the Mavericks are able to punt off. Kevin Sugaki with the punt. And so the Tigers now will start at their own 37 with 8:03 showing on the clock here in the first quarter. Both of these teams come in with a 1-3 record in district, looking to make a late playoff run here in this district. Ball is on the near hash mark for Roland Charles III. The handoff is to Valdez, who's got room up the middle, squirts away from the Maverick defense, and he's got a first down to the 48. Angel Valdez, the third carry of the ball game for him, not the featured back. Number 7, Vince Hernandez, is usually the workhorse for this Tigers offense, but Valdez able to get a first down for the Tigers there. Another handoff to Valdez right into the middle of the line. He goes, he gets pushed back this time after a gain of 2 yards to midfield. Sophomore running back Angel Valdez getting the bulk of the carries here tonight for the Martin Tigers. And we've seen him bust out a couple of medium-sized runs. Sets up the Tigers with a 2nd and 8 here, right from midfield. The Tigers looking to go into Maverick territory. Charles in the shotgun with a running back on either side of him. Here is the handoff again to Valdez, who's trying to turn the corner down here as he nears the 45. They're going to mark him down at the 46. This time, instead of going into the teeth of the defense, little sweep to the outside, to the near side of the field, and Valdez was unable to fully turn the corner. Good job of the Maverick defense of staying home and stringing him out wide there. 6:32 left, still scoreless here in the first quarter. Ball on the near hash mark. The Tigers have a 3rd and 4 coming up from the 46. Again, Valdez with the carry, and he hits the line quickly and with power. He's brought down at the 40-yard line, but not before getting a first down for the Tigers. So the Tigers now in Maverick territory. Angel Valdez doing a good job of keeping the momentum in this drive and finding holes in that Maverick defensive line and then getting past that second level. The Mavericks now we're going to put their linebackers a little closer to the line. Here comes the blitz. Charles passes. He's got a man wide open. That's Ojeda with the catch at about the 9-yard line, and he's going to be brought down at the 1 just before going into the end zone. Elian Ojeda got loose in single coverage, had a couple of steps on his man, and Charles did a great job of putting it right there for him before being brought down at the 1. 1st and goal for the Tigers from there. And, of course, that is the issue when you've got a predominantly run-based offense. And we saw it pre-snap there. We saw the Maverick linebackers sneak up towards the defensive line. They got caught in the wash there, and Ojeda was able to break free. Here's Valdez with the carry. He gets pushed back at the line of scrimmage at the 1. Excellent job by the Maverick defense of plugging in the holes and not allowing Valdez to make his way into the end zone. It's going to be a 2nd and goal now from the 1. Hector Munoz on the tackle. 4:49 left in the first quarter, and the Tigers in their 2nd offensive possession of the game are knocking on the door at the Maverick 1-yard line. 2nd and goal from there. Charles in a pistol formation will take it himself, bounces left, looking for the end zone, and there is a touchdown on the 1-yard touchdown on the 1-yard quarterback keeper for Roland Charles III. That touchdown comes with 4:28 left in the first quarter, and on for the point after attempt will be Jesus Gutierrez. 6-0 is the Martin lead for the moment, but the point after attempt coming up from Gutierrez. There's the snap. The hold is down. The kick is up. And it is good. 4:28 left in the first quarter. Mavericks down 7-0. We'll be back. Gutierrez with the kickoff now after the 1-yard touchdown run by Roland Charles III puts the Martin Tigers on the board first. The Mavericks now will receive this kickoff and hope to get some good starting field position here and get some points on the board. It is a very short kickoff. Fair caught down here by Matt Villaseñor at the 36. Good hands there by Matty Villaseñor, making sure that that ball wasn't ripped away from him, or that it wasn't knocked loose by a very close coverage man for the Tigers. Good starting field position, just what we called for the Mavericks here at the 36, with 4:28 left in the first quarter. Mavericks in their first possession had a 3-and-out on a ball that was nearly intercepted on third down. Cruz is in the shotgun with Brian Leos on his right. The handoff is to Leos, trying to find room on the left side of the line, and is able to get through a couple of initial tacklers across the 40 to the 41. A 5-yard rush by Brian Leos. They have been waiting for Brian Leos to break something open for a couple of weeks now. We've seen him with just a couple of long runs, one at the very end of the first half last week against Nixon. And if they can get Leos running with purpose north and south, the young man has some ability to put some points on the board for the Mavericks. Leos this time on Cruz's left hip. There's the snap, fakes the handoff. It's a keeper by Cruz, and he's going to slide down at the first down marker at the 46. It'll be a fresh set of downs for the Mavericks from there. The first down of the ball game for the Mavericks comes with 3.5 minutes left here in the first quarter. Martin has struck already most of the Martin offensive yardage on a very long pass play from Roland Charles III to Elian Ojeda. On first down, here's a handoff to Leos. Right up the middle, he goes quickly to the 45, still on his feet, and brought down short of the 40 in Martin territory at the 42. And this is exactly what we were talking about just a couple of plays ago. Brian Leos, if he can get space, is able to really do something out in space. And you saw him there bust through the first level and into that linebacker core, and then was able to make some moves and get the Mavericks another first down to the Martin 42. Cruz, quick pass caught by Jaime Rojas. Rojas moves downfield inside the 40 to the 37 before being brought down. Good quick yardage on that quick pass play to Jaime Rojas. It's going to make it a 2nd and 5. And this is the way things get working for the Maverick offense. If you can get in 2nd and 3rd in manageable distance, 2nd and 5, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, the Mavericks are able to sustain drives when they have those types of down and distance. Leos again with the carry, bounces left, puts his head down as he nears the line to get for a first down, and I believe he's got it at the 32-yard line. Brian Leos gets 5 yards on the carry and is running with purpose now, getting the Mavericks their 3rd first down of this drive, a drive that started back at the Maverick 36. A minute 46 left on the clock here in the first quarter, and the Mavericks marching downfield looking to answer that score from the Martin Tigers. Again, the handoff to Leo. Bounces left. He's got room at the 35, at the 30, 25. There is a flag at the very end of that play, and I think this is going to come back. It's going to be a hold against the Mavericks from the spot of the foul there. They're going to march it back from the 20, it looks like. We've got a call from our referee tonight. It's a hold against the Mavericks. It'll be 10 yards from the spot of the foul. It's going to put this ball at the 30, where it's going to be, as they replay the down, a 1st and 8. Ball on the near hash mark. Cruz is in the shotgun with Brian Leos on his right. 3 receivers over to the top side. He's going to put Leos at the end of the line on the right now. Cruz moves to the right. Leos picks up a good block. Caught by Jaime Rojas at the 20. Still on his feet and pushed out of bounds over on the far side inside the 15-yard line to the 12. And this is the kind of diverse play calling that got the Mavericks that victory down in Cigarroa a couple of weeks ago, mixing in those rollout, run, pass options for Juan Cruz Jr. Brian Leos did a good job of holding up against the pressure at the end of the line, giving Cruz enough time to find Rojas downfield. First and 10 from the 12. Mavericks can get a first down at the 2. Here's a handoff to Leos. Bounces left, looking to turn the corner. Grinding his feet still. He's going to get pushed back. But he'll get good yardage all the way to the 7, a 5-yard gain for Brian Leos on that carry. It's going to be 2nd and 5 from there. And after a kind of lackadaisical first drive for the Mavericks, we've seen them here all of a sudden explode, finding room as Brian Leos on the ground, and of course that big pass to Jaime Rojas from Juan Cruz. 52 seconds left in the first quarter. Clock stops as Leos was pushed out of bounds. 7-0 is a Tiger lead, but the Mavericks are knocking on the door here at the 7-yard line. Cruz will keep it himself, looking for room on the right side. Can he turn the corner at the 5? He's able to do so and gets pushed out. Let's see where they're going to spot this push out. At the 3. And the Mavericks are going to be about a yard shy of a first down. 3rd and 1 from the 3. 41 seconds left on the clock. Ball on the far hash mark from the 3-yard line. Cruz is in the shotgun. The handoff is to Brian Leos, picking his way through the defense and in for the Maverick touchdown. A 3-yard touchdown run for Brian Leos puts the Mavericks on the board. 7-6 is the score with 35 seconds left. And all of a sudden, Brian Leos and that Maverick offensive line have woken up here late in the first quarter. They have answered the Martin score. A drive that started back at the Maverick 36 ends in a 3-yard touchdown run by Brian Leos. Kevin Sugaki now on for the point after to even this game at 7. Cruz Jr. is the holder. Low snap. Cruz gets it up, and the kick is through and good. We've got a tie ball game with 35 seconds left in the first quarter, all tied at 7. We'll be back. Kickoff for the Mavericks is Kevin Sugaki. Good long kickoff. It's going to be fielded and muffed at the 1-yard line. Are they going to call him down? They're going to call him down, I think, at the 1. Alex Labra, the wide receiver, tried to handle that kickoff at the 1. He slipped, and he had possession. His knee was down at the 1. The officials are still talking about it. Yep, that's where they're going to spot that ball, at the almost half-yard line back here. With 32 seconds left in the first quarter, the Martin Tigers are going to start at their own 1 in the shadow of their own goalpost. Roland Charles III about 4 yards deep in the end zone, waiting to receive this snap. Quick pass over to the left. catch made in the end zone, but Ojeda is able to bring it out. He evaded a tackler and brought it out to the 4. If Ojeda had been brought down right at the point of the catch, it would have been a safety for the Mavericks, but he managed to squirm away from the defender that was over his back and make it here to the 4. It's going to be a 2nd and about 7 now on the catch from Ojeda, and that's going to be the last play of the first quarter. We'll switch sides of the field and head it over to the south end zone, all tied up at 7. All right, here we go. 2nd and 7 from the 4-yard line for the Martin Tigers. Now in the south end zone. Long pass by Charles. He does have a man over on the far side, but overthrown. Intended there for Gabriel Hutton. 1-on-1 coverage. Bobby Cabrera, good job of staying with Hutton there. The ball overthrown anyway. And it's going to be a 3rd and 7 from the 1 after that incompletion. Just at the start of the second quarter, it's homecoming night for the Mavericks. Had their parade on Wednesday, and the homecoming court will be out here during halftime for halftime festivities. Here is a handoff to Valdez, and Valdez has room, gets the first down and more all the way to the 14. Valdez is a slippery runner. A gain of 10 on the carry for him there. And you've got to hand it to Angel Valdez. He was able to get through that first level of Maverick defenders, which he's been doing all night. Now some breathing room for the Tigers here in the shadow of their own goalpost. 1st and 10 for them at the 14. Charles again hands off to Valdez. Valdez is met at the line of scrimmage, and he's going to move the pile to the 15 for about a yard. A Maverick defender came out of there with the ball, but they will call Valdez down. Before that, it's going to be a 2nd and 9 now for the Tigers. Both of these teams with a 1-3 record in district. Charles is going to be in the shotgun with Valdez on his right. 2 receivers here to the near side, a blocker on the left side of the line. Charles steps back, has time. There's the pass. And Hutton again in the area. This time had about 4 or 5 steps on Bobby Cabrera and just couldn't find the ball. Charles actually put it out there for him. When Hutton looked back, he didn't know exactly where the ball was, and it went through his hands. And on a play like that, you've got to think that the Tigers are comfortable enough that they feel that Angel Valdez is going to be able to rip off 9 yards and get you a first down. Because this is the second time in a row that we've seen them with a long pass on 2nd down, figuring, hey, if we can't get this, we're going to hand off to Valdez here, and he's going to be able to get us 9 yards for a first down. Charles whispers in Angel Valdez's ear on his right. Now the Martin Tigers are going to call a timeout as they're having trouble getting the play call in while the play clock was winding down. 10:33 left in the second quarter. All tied up at 7. We'll be back. 10:33 left in the first half. 3rd and 9 for the Martin Tigers from the 15-yard line. Charles will take the snap, hands off to Valdez, then a reverse to Ojeda. No one over on the far side of the field, and Ojeda hurdles the man and is going to get a first down to the 25. Trick play there, a reverse for Ojeda, and the Mavericks were all following Angel Valdez here to the near side, and Ojeda had just enough room to turn the corner and get the Martin Tigers a first down on a 10-yard run to the 25. This a drive that started back at the Martin half-yard line after the return man for the Tigers fielded a kickoff there. But the Tigers on a long drive here, making some moves. Long pass again. Hutton to this side. The catch is made, but out of bounds. The official on the near side, the side judge, was right there to see it the whole time. Hutton was able to bring that in. And, boy, Bobby Cabrera is going to have his hands full tonight covering Hutton. We've seen it already a couple of times. Charles has those long passes, and he's looked for number one, Gabriel Hutton, every time. Clock stops on the incompletion. It's a 2nd and 10 from the 25 with 10:18 left in the first half, and a tie ball game between the Martin Tigers and the CC Winn Mavericks. Here's the snap. The handoff to Valdez. Got plenty of room on the right side. He might go the whole way unless Humberto Munoz can stop him. He's able to there at the 40. But again, the Maverick defense out of position on a carry by Angel Valdez. And the Tigers have another first down to the 42. Angel Valdez ripping holes in this Maverick defense so far in this ball game. First and 10 for the Tigers from the 42, ball on the far hash mark. Charles in the backfield with a running back on either side. Only one man split out wide to the left here in the formation. Here's a carry to Hernandez. Vince Hernandez gets stuffed after a gain of only a yard. To the 43, 2nd and 10 from there. We'll see if Angel Valdez is back on the field for this play call on 2nd and long. Hernandez is going to stay in the backfield. Not quite sure if they're attending to Angel Valdez over on the far sideline. It's a handoff to Ojeda, and Ojeda turns a corner over on the far side. That should be enough for a Tiger first down. It's actually a 2-yard shy right at midfield. It's going to be a 3rd and 2, and all of a sudden, the Tigers going running back by committee, able to gash this Maverick defense again with the 8:55 left in the second quarter. Charles will come to the huddle. We haven't seen Angel Valdez back. He's got Vince Hernandez in the backfield with him. The handoff. Oh, Charles drops the ball, has to pick it up. Looks right. Oh, he's got Hutton wide open and in for the touchdown, a 50-yard touchdown strike. Charles dropped the snap. Oh, there's a flag down here at the 46. Let's see if this comes back. And if it does, it is a very lucky break for this Maverick defense. Charles lost a hold of the snap, had to bend down and pick it up. And as he did, the man who was covering Hutton kept his eyes in the backfield and didn't keep running downfield with him. So when Charles popped up with the ball, after picking it up from the ground, he looked up and he saw Hutton streaking downfield all by himself. But it does not count. They're going to wipe out that 50-yard touchdown on a hold, and the ball's going to come back here to the 45, where it is going to be now a 3rd and 7. Ojeda spread out to the left side, And now we're going to have a timeout called. Going to wait till our official tells us who exactly called that timeout. And looks to be the Martin Tigers with 8:42 left in the second quarter. All tied up. Tigers with the ball. We'll be back. .42 left in the second quarter. The Tigers have used their second timeout of the half. They've got a 3rd and 7 from the 45 here. Still in their territory on their side of the field. Charles into shotgun, takes the snap, rolls right, looks downfield, lets the pass go. It's incomplete, intended for Ojeda, who is in the area over on the far side of the field. And on a 4th and 7... Martin's going to bring out their punting team. Jesus Gutierrez, the punter. And the Mavericks are going to send back Jaime Rojas and Bobby Cabrera to stand inside their 20-yard line to await this punt. The punt is on its way over to Cabrera's area of the field. He's going to pick it up in one hop from the 15. Gets around the first couple of defenders. But a good job there by the man who actually fielded the kickoff at the 1. Alex Labra did a good job of holding on to Cabrera there. Mavericks are going to start inside the 20 at the 18, the worst starting field position of the game so far for the Mavericks. This only the 3rd offensive possession for Winn. 8:24 left in the half. Again, the Mavericks get the ball back to start the second half, as the Tigers elected to receive to open the ball game. From the 18 on the far hash mark, Cruz in the shotgun. Hands off to Brian Leos, the man with the Maverick touchdown. And Leos is able to get 3 yards on the left side of the line. Across the 20 to the 21. 2nd and 7 coming up for the Mavericks now with just about 8 minutes left on the clock. Mavericks do have all 3 of their timeouts. The clock will stop at the 2-minute mark here at the end of the first half in the second quarter. Halftime festivities coming up. Homecoming festivities coming up at halftime. We'll get you the results of the voting when we're back on in the second half. Cruz Jr. back to pass. Incomplete. He had Kevin Sugaki in the area. And it's going to be a 3rd and 8 now after that incompletion on the rollout by Juan Cruz Jr. Clock stops, 7:42 in the second quarter. Mavericks looking to convert on a 3rd and 8. Tigers have several players who go both ways, as they say. Ironman football, play on offense and defense. Cruz rolling out to his right, looking for someone open downfield. He's going to have to keep it himself and try to get the first down. And I believe he has that. It's going to depend on where they spot him out of bounds. The spot for now is a 28, and that is indeed enough for a first down. A good job of decision-making there by Juan Cruz Jr., looking downfield, not finding anyone open, and using the space in front of him, using his legs to get the Mavericks a first down. 7:35, clock stops as Cruz goes out of bounds. Ball on the near hash mark at the 28. Fresh set of downs for the Mavericks on this, their 3rd offensive drive of the ball game. Cruz takes the snap. Here is a handoff. A good job of running on the right side of the line there by Edward Hurtado in to relieve Brian Leos. Hurtado gets to the 35. It's going to be a 2nd and 3 now for the Mavericks from the 35. 7:02 left in the game, or in the first half, rather. Hurtado's going to stay in the game in the backfield next to Juan Cruz. From the near hash mark, Cruz takes the snap. The handoff again to Hurtado, picking his way through the defense. Gets north and south, and right down the middle of the field he goes as he bounces left, and he's got a Maverick first down to the 43. Change of pace here late in the first half for the Mavericks. Another first down to the 43-yard line. 6.5 minutes left now here in the first half. Clock will stop at the 2-minute mark. In a ball game that's all tied up at 7. Cruz in the shotgun, takes the snap. Another handoff to Hurtado, meets the defense at the line of scrimmage and is able to move the pile across the 45 to the 46. A gain of 3 on the carry. It's going to be a 2nd and 7 coming up for the Mavericks. I'm trying to see if I can find Brian Leos down on the sideline. He's been out of action here for about 4 or 5 plays. Hurtado goes to the end of the line. Cruz rolls out in that direction. Now comes back to the near side of the field at midfield. 45, 40, 35, and out of bounds at the 35-yard line in Martin territory. And we've seen Juan Cruz Jr. do this repeatedly since about week 4 or 5 in this season, rolling out to the side of the formation that the play is called, not finding any space, and then just using his speed to come all the way to the far side, to the other side of the field, where the defense is no longer present and able to get some yardage. 5:29 left in the second quarter. Line of scrimmage is the 35. The handoff to Hurtado's got plenty of room. He streaks up the near hash mark, and he's got another first down for the Mavericks to the 23. And this change of pace from the backfield really working for the Maverick offense here as the Martin defense on its heels. We see Brian Leos there on the sideline waiting to come back in, but for the moment they're going to go with the hot hand, which is Edward Hurtado out of the backfield. He's gobbled up a bunch of yards since coming into this game. Cruz from the shotgun takes a snap. Quick pass to Jaime Rojas. Has to find some space downfield. He's unable to. He's brought down by Gabriel Lerma after a loss of a yard to the 24. It's going to be a 2nd and 11. Rojas was unable to get away from the defense after making that catch over on the left flat. 4:24 left in the second quarter. The Mavericks headed towards the south end zone, trying to put some points on the board before the end of the half. Cruz from the shotgun. He's going to move Hurtado now to the end of the line on the right side. That's where the play's going. Cruz keeping it himself, lets the pass go as he's falling. Incomplete. Was looking for a flag there. The officials are going to talk about it. And they're going to, I think, talk about a possible intentional grounding. I don't know that there was a receiver in the area where Cruz Jr. let that ball go, where he threw that ball. Coach David Charles on the far side of the field in the official's ear, talking to him exactly about that, whether there was a receiver in the area and whether that should be considered an intentional grounding. The officials are still talking about it. For now, it's a 3rd and 11 from the 24. There is the intentional grounding call. On Cruz Jr. Again, as he was falling, he just kind of let the ball go. There were no receivers in the area. It's going to cost them some yardage in the opposite direction, and it's a loss of down, so it will remain third down. I don't see that they're stepping off any yardage, but on the loss of now the officials are gonna talk about it. So, one, there should be a step off on the penalty. I don't think that's occurred. It's going to be third down. That is correct. Still no step off, though, so the ball will remain there. It's going to be a 3rd and 11 on the penalty from the 24. Cruz Jr. in the backfield all by himself. Here comes the blitz. Flag on the play. This might be a free play as the Tigers jumped off sides. Cruz Jr. asking for someone to head into the end zone. The pass is incomplete over the head of Jaime Rojas, who was in the area. But the Mavericks are going to get 5 yards, and they're going to get to do third down all over again. Good job of Juan Cruz on the cadence there and making the defensive line jump off sides. Again, the officials are going to talk about it at the 25. This crew, very deliberate in its decision-making. It's an offsides call against Martin, and then a call against the Mavericks. Those penalties offset, and we're going to do third down all over again. 3rd and 11 for the third straight time from the 24-yard line. 2 plays wiped away. And again, the Mavericks have an opportunity to convert here on 3rd and 11. 3:50 left in the second quarter. Brian Leo's back in the game. He's going to move to the left side of the line. This might be another offsides. No flag, though, from the near side official. There's the pass into the end zone. In and out of the hands of the receiver. He had him. A great job of Juan Cruz of putting that in there. And the intended receiver, Matt Villaseñor, unable to come up with it. And it's going to be a 4th and 11. And in this part of the field, it'll be interesting to see if the Mavericks just keep the offense there. We've got a timeout called by the Mavericks, their first of the half. 3:35 left in the first half. We'll be back. Stop blowing cold air. 3:35 remaining in the first half. And the Maverick offense will remain on the field on this 4th and 11 try. Got a timeout on the field as they need a replacement football. Something wrong with the one that was on the field. They're going to bring in a properly inflated one, I guess, and put it down at the 24. Where the Mavericks have a 4th and 11 looking to convert here late in the first half. 3:35 showing on the clock in a ball game that's all tied up at 7. Cruz problems with the snap, is able to bring it down, looking for room, lets a pass go, and it's intercepted at the 23-yard line. And I don't know if anybody's going to catch number 8, Vince Hernandez. Brian Leos was able to get over there to make the stop. There is a flag way over here at the 27, and we're going to see what that's about. We've been on this yard marker, on this yard line, the 24, for a while now, with penalties going back and forth. The call is an illegal motion call against the Mavericks. It will be declined by the Tigers. Juan Cruz just looking for anybody open, let the pass go at the very last possible second before he was brought down. And that looked to be number 8 with the interception, not on our roster, but in any case, a long drive for the Mavericks ends with an interception. And the Tigers will start this drive at the Maverick 41. 3:22 left. The Tigers do only have one timeout remaining, plus the 2-minute timeout here in the first half. Charles with the keeper. Quarterback sweep to the short side of the field, over to the far side. Pushed out of bounds after a gain of only a yard to the 40. 2nd and 9 now will be coming up for the Martin Tigers. A tall young man is Roland Charles III. 3:10 and counting left on the clock here in the first half, and the Maverick defense hoping to put a stop to this Martin drive that began in Maverick territory at the 41. 2nd and 9 now. Ball on the far hash mark. Charles in the shotgun. Takes the snap, looks up, quick pass, caught by Hutton at the 35, and pushed out of bounds on the far sideline at the 33. And it's a 3rd and 2 now. Clock stops as Hutton went out of bounds. 2:48 on the clock. Maverick defense is going to try to hold here on a 3rd and 2. Charles from the shotgun. The handoff is to Valdez. Picks his way through the defense. He's going to have enough for a first down. A couple of yards. Good enough for a Martin first down at the 30-yard line. Humberto Munoz Jr. with the tackle. They're going to put the ball inside the 30 at the 29. 2.5 minutes left as the clock continues to tick down. The Tigers have one timeout left, plus the 2-minute timeout, which will be here in about 22 seconds. Handoff to Valdez again, trying to find his way through the defense. He'll get a couple of yards to the 27. It's going to be 2nd and 8. Valdez, at least on this drive, unable to find the kind of space that he was on the 2 previous Martin drives. That is the 2-minute timeout now, and it comes with the score all tied up at 7. Two minutes left as we're back after the 2-minute timeout. 2nd and 8 for the Tigers. Charles with the pass, caught by Hutton, escapes a tackler, spins around and still on his feet before going out of bounds at the 15. Hutton make that catch. Actually, someone was almost there for the interception. The back that was up against Hutton over on the far side was almost there to pick that ball off, and when he was unable to, tried to bring Hutton to the ground and was unable to, and he was able to get 2 or 3 more yards in the direction of the Maverick end zone. On the little counter here, Ojeda with the carry, trying to turn the corner, and the Maverick defense does a good job of stringing him out on the far side of the field. They're going to mark him down inbounds, and so the clock will keep ticking. A minute 38 now. Martin does have 1 timeout left. They're not particularly quick about getting to the line. They've got to get the play call in. The ball's going to be spotted at the 13. It's going to be a 2nd and 8. More importantly, though, after that carry by Ojeda, the Martin Tigers running out of time here. A minute 19 left now in the first half. Charles hands off to Valdez, coming here to the near side. Let's see if the Maverick defense can string him out. Great job by Bobby Cabrera on really what was a touchdown saving tackle, and more importantly, tackled him inbounds. And the Martin Tigers have to use their last timeout of the game, of the first half. Comes with a minute 8. The ball's going to be spotted at the 14, so it's a loss of a yard there. And it's going to be 3rd down and about 8 when the Martin Tigers come back out onto the field on offense. The Maverick defense looking to hold. We saw them do a good job for most of the game last week here against Nixon of bending but not breaking. It wasn't until about midway through the second half that the Maverick defense finally gassed, gave up some yardage to that Nixon Mustang offense. But a minute 8 left here in the first half. It'll be interesting to see if the Tigers can't convert here and can't get the first down, whether they keep the offense on the field or they bring out their field goal team. But the Mavericks have to stop them first on 3rd and 8. Ball on the near hash mark. Charles from the shotgun takes the snap, fakes the handoff to Valdez, drops back. He's got a man open in the end zone and just led him too far. Cesar Guerra flashed open in the far side of the end zone, and the pass falls incomplete. Now the clock stops on the incompletion, and it looks like the Tiger offense is going to stay on the field on a 4th and 8 with a minute 2 left. Can the Maverick defense come up with a big stop? If the Mavericks get the ball back on offense, they do have 2 timeouts left to use before the end of the first half. The Mavericks will get the ball first to start the second half. Charles in the shotgun has Valdez on his right and 2 receivers over to the far side of the formation. That's the side that Charles rolls out, looking down into the end zone. Ojeda's in the area and unable to make the catch over the shoulder. Ojeda had the ball in his hands. A great pass by Roland Charles there. Rolling to his right, he put it right where Ojeda was and just unable to come up with it over on the far side. And so the ball will go over on downs. And with 55 seconds left in the second quarter, the Mavericks with 2 timeouts. It'll be interesting to see here if they are able to get downfield quickly. If you can build some momentum early on in this drive, then you start thinking about maybe using a couple of those timeouts and trying to get some points before the end of the half. What you can't have here is a turnover this deep in your own territory. The handoff is to Edward Hurtado. Hurtado gets to the 17 for a couple of yards, 3 yards to be exact. It's going to be 2nd and 7 from there. The Mavericks choose not to use their timeouts. They're going to let the clock run. And it looks like the Maverick offense is content to go into the end to halftime tied up at 7. They will call one more play, and it'll be the end of the half. An extended half because of homecoming activities at halftime. 12 seconds on the clock. Cruz is more than likely going to take the ball and take a knee. It's a handoff to Hurtado. Hurtado finds some space and adds some yards to his stats, brought down at the 29. And that is the end of the half. All tied up at 7 in a slugfest here at Coastal Foster Veterans Memorial Stadium. Time of possession has more than likely been in favor of the Tigers. They've had the ball a lot, just unable to move it into the end zone, except for a 1-yard touchdown run by Roland Charles, set up by a big pass downfield to his leading receiver, Ojeda. Elian Ojeda with that long pass about midway through the first quarter. The Mavericks answered that score with a score of their own, and that is all the scoring so far in this ball game. We'll be back for the start of the second half. We'll let you listen in to homecoming results coming up shortly. Those of you listening in on Eagle Pass Sports Central, we want to thank you for joining us, and we want to thank our sponsors. Ancida Ford of Eagle Pass, Brown Chevrolet of Eagle Pass, Choch's Barbecue, State Representative Eddie Morales for their sponsorship of these broadcasts, and as always, of our prediction show. 7-7 is the score here at halftime. We'll be back for the start of the second half.
events and competitions. And tonight's coronation culminates a week of long hours and late nights, all worthy of the true Maverick pride. Brought to you by none other than the CC Winn Student Council. Homecoming committee chairpersons for this year are Stampede Yearbook Editor-in-Chief Javier Dueñez, Student Council President Sarah Medrano, and Stuco Vice Presidents Roberto Pavlon and George Flores. Homecoming committee members are seniors Lilian Agosto, Nicole Rodriguez, Daisy Flores, and Juanita Salinas. Assisting with tonight's coronation, we have Sayla Yalitza Fuentes, daughter of Justin Fuentes and Cynthia Karina Fuentes. Sofia Salinas, daughter of Rolando Salinas and Kawhi Muskis. We have Catalina Lopez, daughter of Larissa and Raimundo Lopez, and Olivia Esquivel, daughter of Ezekiel Esquivel and Laura Castillo. Now, seniors taking a part of the 2025 homecoming court are representing men Victoria Zapata and Diego Vallejo. Representing drama, Brandon Martinez and Juan Hernandez. Representing Cosa, Victoria Elizalde and Daniel Hernandez. Representing football, Ariana Martinez and Humberto Munoz. Representing the Art Club, Natalie Marinas and Jesse Miranda. Representing Silverline, Sanchez and Diego Berta. Representing Cosmetology, Camila Castro and Diego Hernandez. Representing Cheer, Natalie Martinez and Alejandro Greenberg. Representing NHS, Evelyn Lopez and Angel Rodriguez. Representing French Club, Marie Serrano and Eileen Garza Salazar. Representing the Spanish Club, Laura Gonzalez and Roberto R. Rodriguez. Representing Student Council will be Angelica Rodriguez and Nathan Valdez. Representing basketball will be Megan Picasso and Austin Aguilera. Representing STEM Yearbook, Giselle Doctor and Joel Escobar. Representing cross country, Alexia Beltran and Felipe Piña. Representing Air Force Junior ROTC, Natalie Sanchez and Hernan Gonzalez. Stepping in for Riley tonight, Barbara Hernandez. D-class representatives are the refreshment class, Ashanti Montoya and Gabriel Esparza. From the sophomore class, Alondra Musi and Juan Galindo. From the junior class, Leah Galvan and Fernando Valdez. And from the senior class, Alexia Reyes and Alejandro Jimenez. And joining us this evening, the 2024 homecoming Queen and King representing Silverline, Isabella Rodriguez and Miguel Villegas. Starting off with the results of the homecoming week, now with the classes activities. Results are as follows. In fourth place, we have The freshman class, with a second place in the display case competition, fourth place in the battle of classes, and fourth place in the parade float. In third place, we have the junior class, with a fourth place in the display case competition, second place in the battle of the classes, and a first place in the parade float. Coming in second place, we have the senior class with a third place in the display case competition, first place in the battle of classes, and a third place in the parade float. And taking the overall win with first place, we have the sophomore class with a first place in the display case competition, third place in the battle of classes, and second place in the parade float. As we get our picture made, now for the moment everybody has been waiting for. The crowning of the CC Winn High School's top 5 club or sport representatives and your 2025 homecoming court. Your 2025 Lord and Lady. Representing band will be Victoria Zapata and Diego Vallejo. Your 2025 Count and Countess. Representing football will be Ariana Martinez and Humberto Munoz. Your 2025 Duke and Duchess. Representing cheer will be Natalie Martinez and Alejandro Wheeler. 2025 Prince and Princess representing basketball will be and now the moment we've all been waiting for. Your 2025 CC Winn High School King and Queen representing Silverline, Sanchez and congratulations to all winners and candidates, and on behalf of the Maverick Student Council, we extend a real sincere thank you to everyone that contributed to making this week another success for CC Winn High School. Congratulations to all, and go Mavericks!
Hope you enjoyed this evening's halftime entertainment, and a special shout out to all the students who performed their hearts out. And thank you to our halftime sponsor, Frontera Construction.
Welcome back, everybody, for the start of the second half, an extended halftime there. To have halftime festivities down on the field, we'll get those results for you from homecoming voting during the week. Here is a live ball at the 31, and the Mavericks had to be very careful with that kickoff. That's number 13 for the Mavericks. Angel Espinosa was able to fall on top of it there at the 31, but kind of a tricky opening kickoff for the Martin Tigers. A kind of offside that just kind of died in and amongst the Maverick coverage team. And, of course, on a kickoff, that's a live ball, so anyone can fall on top of it and recover. Mavericks are going to start from their own 30. Brian Leos out on the field, in the backfield on the right of Juan Cruz Jr. Cruz takes the snap. The handoff is to Brian Leos. He's got a blocker on the left side of the line, follows his man, still on his feet as he approaches the 40, and he's brought down at the 39. Gain of 9 yards. We saw Brian Leos running hard in the first half. And right about with 4 minutes or so left in the first half, we saw Edward Hurtado come in for a change of pace, and he was able to get some yardage on the ground for the Mavericks as well. Leos, though, in here on a 2nd and 1. The carry is to him. Gets past one defender, puts up a stiff arm, and is brought down, but it's good enough for a first down. Across the 40 to the 42, and the Mavericks have started off this second half running the ball well on this Tiger defense. All tied up at 7. Yesterday, the Eagles here at Koza Foster Veterans Memorial Stadium had a 34-3 victory over the Alexander Bulldogs to go to 2-1 in district. The Mavericks looking to go to 2-3 in district. Pass caught by Espinosa here at the 45-yard line. A gain of 4 yards on that, 3 yards on that catch. It'll be a 2nd and 7 now. We'll get some score updates for you from the Mavericks and Eagles district. Mavericks come to the line here from the 45 on a 2nd and 7. Ball on the near hash mark. Rolling to his left is Cruz, now looking for someone open. That's Jaime Rojas with the catch in Martin territory at the 45, and he's able to get it near the 40 to the 42-yard line. A good job there. Jaime Rojas just sat in that zone. And a good job of keeping his eyes downfield and not panicking for Juan Cruz, who was able to find Rojas there sitting in the zone on the left side of the formation. And Rojas was able to get a couple of yards after the catch. It's a 1st and 10 now, quickly for the Mavericks in Martin territory at the start of this second half. The handoff to Brian Leos right up the middle. He goes, lots of room for him. An excellent run there inside the 30 to the 28. A 14-yard hard run right up the middle of the formation for Brian Leos, who's gaining strength and speed as the game moves along. This is the 3rd first down on this drive already for the Mavericks, a drive that started back at their own 36, now inside the 30-yard line in Martin territory. Cruz takes the snap, fakes the handoff to Leos. He's got room on the left side of the line, cuts upfield. There's a flag on the play right as Cruz was cutting upfield, and this is probably going to come back a hold against the Mavericks. We told you that the Eagles won here last night 34-3. Other scores from the Eagles district: United South beating Del Rio 21-10 over in Del Rio. And the United Longhorns in a tight one up in Castroville, all tied at 35 between the Longhorns and the Medina Valley Panthers. The Eagles will be down in Laredo to face the Panthers next week. Get you some scores from around the Mavericks district. About a minute and a half after the rest of us saw this hold, we're going to get the call from the officials. It is indeed a hold against the Mavericks. It's going to bring the ball back to the 39. It'll be first down from there after the penalty, 1st and 21. A drive that started off with good offensive rhythm for the Mavericks, mixing up the run and the pass, and Brian Leos has been able to find a lot of room in that Martin defense. High snap. The handoff is to Leos, and he will stretch out across the 35 to the 34, where it's going to be a 2nd and long still for the Mavericks. Second and 17 from the 35. On the far hash mark, Cruz rolling left, looking for someone downfield. There's the pass caught by Rojas at the 26. And Rojas downfield into the end zone for the touchdown. Jaime Rojas with the catch at about the 26-yard line, headed towards the far sideline, and then tiptoed down the sideline and into the south end zone for the Maverick touchdown. A 34-yard catch and run for Jaime Rojas puts the Mavericks ahead for the moment, 13-7. This is exactly the kind of balance that has helped the Mavericks this season, switching up the pass and the run, and Cruz did it well there. The second time on that drive that he have found Rojas right on the left side, sitting in that defensive zone. Kick, point after for Kevin Sugaki is good, and the score with 7:58 left in the third quarter, Mavericks up 14-7. Here is a kickoff by Kevin Sugaki. And that is a live ball. The kickoff return man waved it off and let it go over his head, thinking perhaps it was going to go into the end zone. And his coaching staff was yelling at him to remind him that if that kick does not go into the end zone, it's a live ball and he had to come back and pick it up. Alex Labra with the return, as it were, all the way to the 11-yard line. That's where the Tigers will start. With 7:49 left here in the third quarter. Mavericks have just taken the lead 14-7. And a huge run there by Angel Valdez all the way across the 35 to the 36. And it's a Tiger first down. Another carry over to the far side of the field. This one by Roland Charles. He goes out of bounds after a gain of 4 yards at the 40. It'll be a 2nd and 6 after that carry by Charles. Here is a 3rd down coming up now, as that ball will end up at the 44. 3rd down and 2 coming up for Martin. Angel Valdez with the 1st down there. Just enough for the 1st down to the 48. And it's a 1st down for the Tigers. Quickly to the line. 6:54 left in the 3rd quarter. Charles from the shotgun. Drops back. Long pass to Hutton, who's beaten Bobby Cabrera. And no catch. Incomplete. Just off his fingertips. Just out of the reach of Gabriel Hutton, who had beaten the defender who was on him. And it's going to be a 2nd and 10 now from the 48-yard line near midfield for the Martin Tigers. Here is a run by Ojeda, and Ojeda breaks through the defense, and he will go into the end zone for the touchdown. Elian Ojeda gashes the Maverick defense on the left side all the way in for a 52-yard touchdown run. And the Tigers are a point away from tying this game up with 6:27 left in the 3rd quarter. Jesus Gutierrez on for the point after. The kick is up and through, and we are all tied up at 14. Here comes the kickoff. Again, a short one. Somebody's got to get their hands on it because it's a live football. And the Martin Tigers recover inside the 35 at the 34. It's the 2nd straight time they've deployed that kind of onside, but about 15 or 20 yards down from where the kickoff point is. And again, no one for the Maverick coverage team was able to hurry to get to it. And the Martin Tigers fall on top of a live ball inside the 35-yard line. A big momentum shift here midway through the 3rd quarter. That ball goes in between Roland Charles' legs. He's got to pick it up. Still rolling, still looking downfield. There's a pass, and it is incomplete. And honestly, that's the best that they could have hoped for, After that play in which that snap went in between Roland Charles' legs, we do have an injured Maverick player over here at about the 45-yard line. We're going to take a timeout to attend to that young man. Up on his feet now, actually coming up. Avon Chavez coming off the field. He was chasing Roland Charles back in that area of the field. Coach René Ramirez was trying to get an intentional grounding call there. Looked to me like there was a receiver in the area. The ball certainly went toward the line of scrimmage. And so it's going to be a 2nd and 10 now from the 34. Ojeda again in motion. The handoff is to Vince Hernandez from the backfield. And Hernandez gets to the 29. A 5-yard gain. That's going to make it a 3rd and 5 now. For the Tigers. 5:55 left on the clock here in the 3rd quarter. A quarter that started with a Maverick touchdown. And since then, the Maverick offense has not gotten the ball back. From the shotgun and a 3rd and 5. Charles again, let's go with the snap. And the back is going to fall on top of it there at the 32. There are flags on the play. That's Angel Valdez who fell on top of the football. And flags from both side judges make me think this is hopefully not an offsides against the Mavericks. It's a false start that's going to go against the Tigers. And if you're the Mavericks here, I guess you take that yardage, but you're going to give them another shot on 3rd down. You might consider not accepting the penalty and have it be a 4th and 5. But the Mavericks prefer to push them back, and it's going to be a 3rd and 10 now from the 34 after the penalty. Charles from the shotgun has Hutton split out wide left. And Ojeda over to the top side of the formation. There's the snap. Charles is able to get it cleanly. Lets the pass go, and it is incomplete. Intended for Ojeda over on the far side of the field, and it's going to be a 4th and 10 now from there from the 34. The Maverick defender over on the far side got there just a little before the ball got to Ojeda, but no flag on the play for interference. The Tiger offense is going to stay on the field on a 4th and 10. And the Maverick defense has 10 very crucial yards to defend here with 4:59 left in the 3rd quarter. Charles from the shotgun. Now we're going to have a timeout called down on the field. These officials aren't great about telling us who called the timeout. About 15, 20 seconds after the timeout has been called, our referee will tell us that the Martin Tigers called a timeout. 4:59 left here in the 3rd quarter. We'll be right back. With 4:59 left in the 3rd quarter, the Tigers have a 4th and 10 from the Maverick 34-yard line. The fake to Valdez, the long throw downfield intended for Hutton and caught at the 4-yard line. Hutton step by step with his defender. Ian Herrera was right there, got his fingertips up, and that ball somehow made its way to Gabriel Hutton, who was falling down, and brought the pass in inside the 5 at the 4. It's a 1st and goal for the Tigers from there, coming to the line. Charles with the handoff to Valdez, who trips as he nears the 2, and he's going to be down at the 1, 2nd and goal from there after that run from Valdez. .402 left in the third quarter. 2nd and goal from the 1-yard line. Low snap, he's got to pick it up off the ground, and that break in the rhythm was enough for the Maverick defense to knife through and bring Valdez down at the 2. It's going to be a loss of a yard. Even Chavez in on the tackle. And it's going to be a 3rd and goal from the 2 now. Ball nearest to the far hash mark. 3.5 minutes left. The Martin Tigers have the ball on a longish onside kick that nobody for the Mavericks was able to cover. And so this drive started for Martin at the Maverick 34. Direct snap to Ojeda, and he gets into the end zone on the right side of the line for the touchdown to make the score for the moment 20-14 in favor of the Tigers. Ojeda's 2nd touchdown of the half. That comes with 3:15 left here in the third quarter. Jesus Gutierrez on for the point after attempt. The Mavericks will have to regroup on offense now. Bad snap. Gutierrez picks it up, and the point after attempt is no good. And so the score will remain 20-14 in favor of the Martin Tigers with 3:15 left in the third quarter. .315 left in the third quarter, and the Martin Tigers have just taken the lead. And it might be wise for the Mavericks to close the gaps in between their lines here, as you can expect the same. An onside kick, and we'll see who comes out of there with the ball. I think the Mavericks had it. Good job by number 88 for the Mavericks, Jesus Mata, of just falling on top of it as it did roll around. Another onside kick from the Tigers. And, of course, the Mavericks now are going to have very good field position near midfield. They're going to start this drive at the 48. Only the second drive of the second half for them. They opened the second half with a long touchdown drive on a long pass from Juan Cruz to Jaime Rojas, and Rojas did the rest himself, getting it into the end zone. And for 2 possessions in a row, the Martin Tigers have had the ball. Now the Mavericks with it with 3:12 left. The keeper by Cruz Jr. trying to find some room. Good job of being brought down after a gain of only a yard by number 4, Gabriel Lerma. It's going to be a 2nd and 9 coming up for the Mavericks from the 49-yard line. Under 3 minutes left in the third quarter. The Mavericks trail 20-14 after a missed extra point by the Tigers on their last touchdown. There's the snap, high snap, brought down, handoff to Brian Leos, who gets past the first couple of tacklers and then is brought down at about the 47 in Tiger territory. We're going to mark it at the 48, and it's going to be a 3rd and 6 from there for the Mavericks. About 2 minutes left now in the third quarter. Mavericks break the huddle and come to the line of scrimmage, the 48. Cruz rolling left, looks downfield, pumps once, trying to find someone open, still has the ball in his hand, lets it go, and it's incomplete, intended for Kevin Sugaki, and there are 2 flags on that play as Sugaki was being double covered there. In on the coverage was Alex Labra and also number 2, Osvaldo Garcia. But this looks to be a pass interference call. We'll get it eventually. The referee still hasn't spoken to his officials who made the call. There's a pass interference call. And it's going to be a first down for the Mavericks. The ball's going to be spotted inside the 35 at the 33 now after the pass interference penalty. The Mavericks convert on 3rd down with the help of a pass interference call. A minute 27 left in the third quarter. Ball on the far hash mark. Cruz in the shotgun, takes the snap, keeps it himself, trying to find room on the left side, and slides after a gain of about 2 yards to the 31. I guess you're going to spot him back here at the line of scrimmage, the 33, so no gain for Juan Cruz Jr. on that carry. When a quarterback slides, they spot the ball essentially where his behind touches the ground. Cruz again from the far hash mark in the shotgun, takes the snap. The handoff is to Brian Leos, follows his blockers on the left side of the line, bounces left towards the far end zone, and he's going to be brought down near the sideline at the 27. And it is a 3rd and about 4 now for the Mavericks from the 27-yard line. One more play left in all likelihood in the third quarter. That one will come with about 10 seconds or so left here in the third quarter. Cruz takes the snap, rolls left, now comes back to the middle of the field, looking for someone open. He's going to take it himself, gets past a couple of defenders, still on his feet, at the 10, at the 5, and into the end zone goes Juan Cruz Jr., a 28-yard touchdown run by Juan Cruz Jr. Is all that defense for the Tigers kind of slowed up, and I think the fact that the clock was going to zeros kind of confused everybody. And everyone kind of stopped trying there. Juan Cruz Jr. saw it open in the middle, kind of leapt over defender at about the 25, and after that he just had Green in front of him, and he kept going while the Martin defenders kind of stood around. A 27-yard touchdown run and a very big extra point attempt coming up here for Kevin Sugaki. Cruz is the holder. The snap, the kick is up, and the Mavericks have a 21-20 lead. They've answered here with 0 time left in the third quarter. We're headed to the fourth, but the Mavericks up by a point. After the kickoff, we're ready to start the fourth quarter. The Tigers are going to start at the 29. And it looks to be an interesting last quarter of this game, as this second half has had 2 scores by each team. The Tigers have missed an extra point, and so the score in favor of the Mavericks, 21-20. The carry there for about 2 yards to the 31. It's going to be a second and long for the Tigers, and we have a Martin player down at about the 30. And that young man will go off the field to the far side. It's going to be a 2nd and 8 for the Tigers from the 31-yard line. Ball on the far hash mark. Roland Charles in the shotgun, awaiting the snap. Here's a handoff to Valdez. Going to try to turn the corner. Let's see if the Mavericks can string him out after a couple of missed tackles. He is brought down back at the line of scrimmage. Good job there in pursuit by Julian Perez, who missed the tackle initially in the backfield, but then was able to come back and help his defense and eventually bring Angel Valdez down. No gain there. It's going to be a 3rd and 8 now for the Tigers, and the Maverick defense could do its team some good here by really bearing down and keeping the Martin Tigers from converting on this 3rd and 8. Ball is on the near hash mark. Charles is in the shotgun. He'll take the snap, rolls left, now drops back, long pass. There's Hutton in the area, and that's going to be pass interference. That ball was up in the air, almost like a punt for a long time. Enrique Perez was the man covering Hutton, and he got lost there with the ball in the air. Hutton came back for it, and Perez had really having no idea where the ball was in the air, put his hands all over Hutton, and that's going to be a pass interference. Charles just launched that ball really to kind of no one in particular. I mean, he knew Hutton, I think, was in the area, but he got it close enough where Perez had no choice but to interfere. Ball on the 46 now. Fresh set of downs for the Tigers after the penalty. 10:41 left. Here's the handoff. Up the middle goes the running back. That's Angel Valdez. There's a flag at the end of that play. Somebody must have said something to somebody. It's going to be interesting to see who this flag is on, whether it's on the Mavericks. I think it's going to be maybe offsetting penalties because both of them, unsportsmanlike conduct, I think, to both sides. There's about 10 and a half minutes left in the ball game. The Mavericks holding on to a 1-point lead. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct penalties on both sides. And the result of the play will end up in a 2nd and 8 from the 48-yard line. With the ball on the near hash mark, Charles in the shotgun, takes a snap, looks right, lets the pass go. It's caught by Ojeda in Maverick territory at about the 47. And Ojeda is pushed out of bounds. There at the 48 is where they're marking. And it'll be now a third and about 4. Charles again from the shotgun will take the snap, hands off to Valdez, and Valdez gets a ton of yardage there, trying the right side of the line before finally being brought down at the 31. The Tigers now mounting a drive here to answer that Mavericks score. Under 9.5 minutes left now, and the Tigers are on the move. 21-20 is the Maverick lead with 9:16 left in the ball game. Charles rolling left, pass. Ojeda's all by himself in the end zone. Late coming back to defend. That pass is incomplete. It looked like for a minute like Ojeda was going to come down with it. And Enrique Perez, not giving up on that play, was right there to knock it out of the hands of Ojeda. Pass falls incomplete, and it'll be a 2nd and 10 from the 31 for the Tigers. Here's a handoff to Valdez. Right up the middle of the formation he goes. And he's got a first down to the 20. And it's going to be interesting to see Angel Valdez's yardage total at the end of this game, because he has been running roughshod over that Maverick defense all game long. 8:38 left here in the ball game, and the Tigers in the red zone now at the 20-yard line, threatening against this Maverick defense. Charles from the shotgun takes the snap, hands off again to Valdez, and he's got plenty of running room inside the 10. That Martin offensive line really being able to push that Maverick defense back now late in the game. He's going to have a first down at the 8. First and goal for the Tigers from there. And at this point, if you're the Mavericks, you just have to hope to get this ball back with enough time left in the ball game that you're able to drive downfield and answer whatever score the Tigers can come up with here. Another handoff to Valdez. This time he bounces left, goes into the teeth of the defense, and is pushed back for no gain to the 8. And Angel Valdez has really been the workhorse for this Tiger offense tonight as we approach 7.5 minutes in the ball game. The Tigers looking to score here and take the lead about midway through the fourth quarter. Charles from the shotgun takes the snap. Handoff is to Valdez. Turns a corner on the left side. Excellent job. Number 92 for the Mavericks, Gustavo Zapata, stayed home, shook off a block, and was able to trip up Valdez over on the far side. It's a loss. It's actually no gain there to the 8. And it's a 3rd and goal now from the 8-yard line. And we'll see what the Tigers have here. You think at this point it's 4-down territory for them. Of course, they can take the lead with a field goal. And they're certainly close enough to give Jesus Gutierrez a try. But we'll see what they can do here on 3rd and goal. They've got to get it into the end zone. Charles drops back, looks left, pumps once. Now he's in trouble, and he's going to get sacked back here at the 16-yard line. Excellent defensive pressure from Asiel Ojeda. Asael Olveda with the tackle. Also Julian Perez in there on the sack. And it looks like the Tigers are going to keep their offense on the field. On a 4th and goal from the 16-yard line. Tigers cannot get a first down. They either get this into the end zone or the ball goes over on downs. And now the Mavericks are going to call one of their timeouts here in the second half. They'll have 2 remaining. 5:46 left. When we come back, a big 4th and goal for the Tigers. With 5:46 left in the ball game, the Martin Tigers are going to gamble here on a 4th and goal from the 16. Charles drops back. Here comes the pressure. He's got a man wide open at the 4 and in for the easy touchdown for Alex Labra, who got on a busted coverage there, got free on the left side, and it is a touchdown. Now Martin's going to call a timeout after this, I think, to draw up a 2-point play. The score for now is 26-21 with 5:39 left here in the game. The Tigers now are going to attempt a 2-point conversion with 5:39 left in the game to make this a 7-point game. Charles from the shotgun, his 3 receivers here to the near side. Takes the snap, rolls right, waiting for somebody to come open. A defender falls down, and Labra is going to make the catch for the 2 points. There is a flag on the play. There's an injured Maverick down on the field, Jacob Jimenez, who was in coverage with Labra. Labra flared wide open in the end zone, and the question now is, did he push off of Jimenez, and is that why he was so wide open? Pass interference on the Tigers. That's exactly what happened there. And so they're going to do this all over again from further back as Jimenez comes off the field. This 2-point conversion will come from the 18-yard line now. We saw the Tigers convert for a touchdown on 4th and goal from the 16. We'll see what the Tigers can come up with here on a 2-point conversion from 18 yards away. The Maverick defense has to make sure not to lose anybody in that secondary. It's a reverse for Ojeda. Ojeda trying to pass the ball, and it is incomplete, intended over for Hutton over on the far side. So the 2-point conversion is no good. The score will remain Tigers 26, Mavericks 21. The Mavericks will have about 5.5 minutes left to answer. The Mavericks have to be very careful on this kickoff attempt by the Tigers. They've been trying tricky onside kicks all night. This is a kick that will be fair caught at the 15 by Juan Cruz. With 5:39 left in the ball game. Mavericks are going to start from their own 25, and they will be 75 yards away from being able to take the lead in this game. They need a touchdown in order to take the lead. .539 left in the ball game in a tight game. Tigers up 26-21. Cruz takes a snap, runs it himself to the middle of the field, jukes a man, still on his feet, and is finally tripped up as he crosses the 30 to the 31 for a gain of 6 yards. It's going to be a 2nd and 4. Again, you don't have to be in any particular hurry. It'd be nice to just grind down the clock and score the winning touchdown with very few seconds left for the Martin Tigers to do anything. But they still are 69 yards away from finding the end zone. Under 5 minutes left now in the clock. Cruz takes the snap, the handoff to Brian Leos. He's got room up the middle. There goes Leos, 40-45, midfield. Still on his feet, dragging defenders with him inside the 40. They're trying to strip the ball from Brian Leos, and he does an outstanding job of getting his hands on it and not allowing them to strip that ball. The Mavericks are in business in Martin territory at the 36. Brian Leos putting the Mavericks on his back and then taking some Tigers on his back along for the ride on that run. 4:25 left in the ball game, and the Mavericks are in Martin territory at the 36-yard line. Ball on the far hash mark. 26-21 is the score. The Mavericks need a touchdown in order to take the lead late in the ball game here. Cruz in the shotgun, takes a snap, fakes it to Leos. He's going to keep it himself. He's got room. He's at the 35, and he slides down as he approaches the 25. They'll mark him down at the 29-yard line, where it's going to be 28 will be the line of scrimmage, where it's going to be a 2nd and 3. Just inside the 30 at the 29 is the ball. 3:38 and counting. And the Mavericks trying to score a touchdown to take the lead late in this ball game. Cruz takes the snap. Handoff is to Leos. And Leos will go forward a couple of yards, just 1 yard, to the 28, where it's going to be a 3rd and 2 now. And, of course, this is going to be 4-down territory, no doubt, for the Mavericks. You can't give the ball up again here. And so even if you don't convert here on 3rd down, you're going to have to keep your offense out there on 4th down with under 3 minutes left in the game. Mavericks have 2 timeouts left from the 28 on a 3rd and 2. Cruz got them to jump off sides. It's a free play, although I don't see any flags. Cruz lets a pass go. It's caught. Oh, no, drop by Jaime Rojas at the 10. My question is, why aren't there any flags on the field? If I saw the Tigers, at least 2 of them jump off sides when that ball was hiked to Juan Cruz. Wow, that's going to be a 4th and 2 now. This is the 2nd time in 2 weeks that this has happened to the Mavericks. No flags on an offsides jump, and Cruz thinks he's got a free play, so he lets it go downfield. The pass is incomplete to Rojas, and the Mavericks really need to convert here on 4th down. From the 28, they need 2 yards to keep this drive going. Cruz takes the snap. The handoff is to Brian Leos. He gets stood up. He's going to have to keep churning his legs. He does, and he has a first down inside the 25-yard line. You got to hand it to Brian Leos in this game. He has done an outstanding job of fighting for yardage. Ball is down at the 22. The Mavericks have a fresh set of downs from there as we near the 2-minute timeout mark. And it is now 2 minutes left in the game. We'll have a timeout called on the field. When we come back, the Mavericks will continue their drive from the 22. Back from the 2-minute timeout. A drive that started back at the Maverick 25-yard line. Mavericks are now in Martin territory at the 22. Down by 5, 26-21. Cruz with Leos in the backfield with him from the far hash mark. Into shotgun, takes a snap, rolls left, looking for someone downfield. Has a man, pass is caught at the 20 by Angel Espinosa. And Espinosa gets out of bounds to stop the clock. It's going to be a 2nd and 7 from there. Only a 2-yard gain, 2nd and 8 for the Mavericks. Ball now on the left hash mark here to the near side. A minute 55, clock stops as the receiver went out of bounds. Cruz awaiting the snap. He'll take it there, hands off to Leos. He's got room on the right side at the 15, at the 10, cuts back in. They're going to bring him down inside the 5 at the 4-yard line. The Mavericks are going to have a 1st and goal from the 4. Brian Leos has been running with purpose all game long and has put this Maverick offense on his shoulders. A minute 47 left on the clock. Oh, this is a penalty against the Mavericks. There's the flag at about the 7-yard line. They'll mark it off from there. And it's a hold. The ball's going to end up at the 18, where it's going to be a 2nd and about 6 for the Mavericks. A minute 44 and counting on the clock. As the Mavericks break the huddle, Cruz is going to be in the backfield with Brian Leos. There's a snap. The keeper by Cruz has room, cuts upfield at the 10, at the 5. He's going to make sure he holds on to the ball. He does, and Cruz is down at the 4-yard line with a big run and a Maverick first down. 1st and goal from the 4 after that run, and that worked to perfection. He faked it off to Leos. The defense bit, had its eyes on Brian Leos, and Juan Cruz Jr. did the rest, picking his way through the defense inside the 5 to the 4. There's a minute 2 left on the clock. The Mavericks with a 1st and goal from the 4. A touchdown gets them the lead here late in the ball game. The handoff to Leos, looking for the end zone. In he goes. Brian Leos with 50 seconds left on the clock gets the Maverick touchdown. A well-deserved touchdown to hopefully cap this game off for Brian Leos, who has been running hard all game. His second touchdown of the ball game. And with 50 seconds left, it gives the Mavericks for now a 27-26 lead. The Mavericks are going to go for one. Kevin Sugaki's on for the point after attempt. Low snap. Sugaki is able to get the kickoff anyway, and it is no good. There is a flag on the play, and it might be for roughing the kicker because somebody ran into Sugaki while he had his plant leg down on the ground. Sugaki, in fact, is still on the ground. He's going to need some medical attention. The kick was no good. Now, if there's a roughing the kicker penalty, it's going to move the attempt closer to the goal line, and you've really got to think, if you're the Maverick staff, about going for two to make this a 3-point game. You don't want a field goal to beat you if the game stays at 27-26 or even at 28-26. They're looking at Sugaki down on the ground there at about the 10-yard line. The referee is the official who threw the flag. He's talking to head coach René Ramirez probably about what he wants to do here. We're going to get the call from the referee, hopefully, in just a minute. The kick was no good. But again, Sugaki was brought down just as he planted. You got to hand it to Juan Cruz. He took a bad snap and was able to put it there for Sugaki to attempt the kick. The referee is still down here talking to head coach René Ramirez about his options probably. If they accept this penalty, it should move them closer to the end zone, and it might give the Mavericks a chance to go for two. Here's the call. The officials are going to talk about it some more because it's only 10:06. Let's all watch while the officials huddle. 50 seconds left in the ball game. Still no call from down on the field. It's a half the distance penalty, and the Mavericks are going to call a timeout to talk about what they want their two-point conversion play to look like. When we come back, they're going to attempt a two-point conversion from the 2-yard line. Mavericks to attempt a two-point conversion from the 2-yard line. 27-26 is the score. A successful two-point attempt makes it at least a field goal. The reverse to Jaime Rojas. He's looking for someone in the end zone. There's a pass, and it's intercepted in the end zone. They had a trick play, little Philly special there. Juan Cruz was the one who was waiting for that pass from Jaime Rojas. Incomplete there. I think that was actually intercepted in the end zone, but in any case, the two-point conversion is no good, and the score remains Mavericks 27, Martin Tigers 26 with 50 seconds left in the game. 50 seconds left in the ball game. The Mavericks have just taken a 27-26 lead after a 4-yard touchdown from Brian Leos. Kevin Sugaki will come back on to attempt this kick. It is fielded at the 27 by Labra, and that's where the Tigers will start. We have seen Roland Charles heave up some bombs in this ball game, and the Mavericks have to be sure that they don't let anyone loose in that defensive secondary. No one can get behind you. There is one timeout left for the Tigers. Ball is at the 28. If you're that defensive secondary, you get as deep as you can, and you make sure no one gets behind you. Charles takes the snap, looks right, quick pass, caught at the 35, and then out of bounds goes the receiver, Gabriel Lerma. Clock stops with 44 seconds. Ball will be at the 38. A first down for the Tigers. Actually about a yard shy, I guess, because it's still showing second down. They haven't moved the chains. Now they'll move the chains as the official gave the sign to move the chains way late. David Charles is upset because the clock started ticking. Here comes the defensive pressure. They're going to sack Charles back here inside the 30 at the 29. And the Tigers are going to have to use their final timeout. David Charles is very, very upset with the referee. And I'll tell you what this is about. The chains would not move on the far side. The chain gang just kind of stayed where they were, but the clock kept ticking. Finally, the official on the far sideline made the motion to move the chains, but the clock had already started ticking by then. We're going to have a call by the official. Oh, he's telling us that the Martin Tigers called a timeout. Fabulous. Fantastic. That was apparent to everyone in the stadium, folks, that the Martin Tigers had called a timeout. Thank God this official came up with 30 seconds after that and let us know that Martin had called a timeout. They're out of timeouts now, 2nd and 20. 26 seconds left. Charles in the shotgun. The Maverick defense has to make sure no one gets behind him. Here comes the blitz. Charles steps up. He's going to keep it himself. Headed towards the sideline and finally out of bounds at the 35. Where it's going to be a 3rd and about 13 after that run by Roland Charles. 20 seconds showing on the clock. No timeouts left for the Tigers. The Mavericks have 4 secondary defenders in their territory. Charles with the pass. It's caught. They've got to be careful. Labor makes the catch. I don't think they're going to be able to get another playoff. Labor's down at the 48. They've got to hurry to the line. 9 seconds. Clock stops as they move the chains. Charles will spike it back at the 43. And there are 6 seconds left in the ball game. Second down from there. The yard marker, the down marker and the yard marker on the far side of the field is completely off. The down marker is showing 4th down. And I think it should be 4th down because I don't think they got a first down on that scramble. So they came up and spiked it on 3rd down. And it is going to be a 4th and I guess inches because the down marker is about 2 inches away from the first down marker. The officials are going to stop this here because they need to talk about what's going on down on the field. They're going to talk to head coach Rene Ramirez. Okay, now the down marker is showing first down over on the far side. We wish we could tell you up here in the booth exactly what just transpired, but what we can tell you for sure is that with 6 seconds left, the Martin Tigers seemingly have a first down from their own 48. And now the official is going to ask for 3 seconds to be added back on the clock, so there's 9 seconds left in this ball game. Charles is going to have to heave this one last time. Steps up in the pocket. There's a long throw. Intercepted at the 25-yard line. Bobby Cabrera looking for a pick six to finish this ball game. He's at the 25, cuts back in, still on his feet, and finally brought down at the 10-yard line with no time left on the clock. The Mavericks have come in and defended their home turf against the Martin Tigers. And the Mavericks are going to come away with their second district victory of the season to 2-3. Cabrera tried to return that for a pick six to finish the ball game. Finally tackled. There was a little bit of extracurricular activity down there, but that is the end of the ball game. A good one here in the second quarter. A barn burner ends with the score. Mavericks 27, Tigers 26. We want to thank you for joining us. The Mavericks will be in San Antonio next Friday against the Southwest Dragons. The Eagles will be in Laredo next Saturday against the United Longhorns. 27-26, the final score. Thank you to those of you who joined us on iVision. And for those of you who are joining us on Eagle Pass Sports Central, thank you so much for listening in. We want to thank our sponsors, Ancira Ford of Eagle Pass, Brown Chevrolet of Eagle Pass, Judge's Barbecue, and State Representative Eddie Morales. Final score, the Mavericks come away with the victory 27-26. For my audio-visual engineer, Cristina Valadez, my name is Ruben Valadez. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time.